Good morning, class. Today we are going to read Prose, A Truly Beautiful Mind. The story recounts the life of an outstanding scientific personality, Albert Einstein, from his birth till his death. His theories totally changed our understanding of space and time, though he was not successful in his family life. His scientific exploits won him the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. He was known as a visionary and world citizen as much as a scientific genius. Now, if we talk about his life, Albert Einstein was born on 14th March in 1879. in the Germany city of Ulm. For about 2.5 years, he could not speak, and when he did learn to speak, he uttered every word twice. His playmates called him Brother Boring, and his mother regarded him a freak because of the abnormally large size of his head. So here, Albert Einstein was born to German parents on 14th March 1879 in Ulm, Germany. His mother thought that he was abnormal because his head was too large compared to other children. He started speaking, that also with difficulty. Only by the time he was 2.5 years old. He loved to play with mechanical toys and preferred to play alone. Thus, other children called him Brother Boring. Now, if we see, at school, his headmaster regarded him as stupid and good for nothing. But he proved them all wrong. His headmaster was not happy with him, telling his mother telling his father that Albert would never be successful. Whatever career he took up, his mother made him learn how to play the violin. At the age of 6 years, he later on became a talented amateur non-professional violinist. Now here if we see, at the age of 6, on behest of his mother, he learned to play the violin. He became a gifted violinist. At the age of 15, his family shifted to Munich. He did not feel at ease with the strict regimentation of the school and left it for good. Later on, for higher education, he joined the university at Zurich, because the atmosphere there was more liberal and amenable to new ideas and concepts. He showed more interest in physics and mathematics. He met a fellow student, Mary, at the university, equally intelligent and clever. Later on, they married and had 2 sons. But unfortunately, their marriage did not survive and were divorced in 1990. Here he met a Serbian girl, Mary, who was also an intellectual. They fell in love and ultimately married after Albert found a job on finishing his university studies. But their family life was not happy. Despite having 2 sons, they finally divorced in 1919. After completing his education, Albert worked as a technical expert in the patent office at Bern. Here he worked secretly of his idea on relativity. In 1915, he published his paper on special theory of relativity, followed by the world-famous equation E equals to mc square. So if we talk about Einstein here, so Einstein finally secured a job as a technical expert in the patent office in Bern, where he judged other people's inventions. Side by side, he continued developing his own ideas secretly. He published his special theory of relativity in 1905, according to which time and distance are not independent. He obtained the world's most famous formula describing the relationship between mass and energy. And he used the formula E equals to mc square. In 1915, he published his paper on general theory of relativity, which gave an absolutely new definition to concept of gravity. This theory made him a famous figure. In 1919, during the solar eclipse, his theory came out to be accurate and revolutionized physics. In 1933, he emigrated to USA as Nazis had come to power in Germany. So, in 1915, Einstein published his journal Theory of Relativity. The solar eclipse of the sun proved this theory as correct. He became famous as his work was considered a scientific revolution. For this and his other achievements, he received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. When the Nazis came to power in Germany, Einstein emigrated to the USA. When the world's scientists came to know that Germany had developed nuclear fission, they became afraid that the Nazis could build and use an atomic bomb. He was persuaded by colleagues to write to Franklin D. Roosevelt, President of the USA, that this development could cause large-scale devastation. This made the Americans develop their own atomic bomb and use it against Japan near the end of the Second World War. If we see here, he did not want his finding and research to be used for destruction. In 1938, when Germany discovered the principle of nuclear fission, he was the first person to write to the American president about the dangers of atomic bombs. In 1945, when America dropped the atomic bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, he was deeply hurt and wrote to the United Nations United Nations for the formation of a world government to prevent recurrence of such destruction. He spent his later days in politics advocating world peace and democracy. Einstein was shocked by the extent of destruction caused by these bombs and wrote an open letter to the United Nations to stop the arms buildup by forming a world government. Einstein continued campaigning push-or-press for an end to the arms buildup and used his popularity to campaign for peace and democracy during the next 10 years, till his death in 1955. He was known and celebrated as a visionary and world citizen as much as a scientific genius. So that's all about the chapter A Truly Beautiful Mind. Have a nice day.